Morning! Hi everyone! I'm back in the valley today, and it's because I'm looking for a very secret little mine level. Just a tiny little tunnel that I have to say last time I came here I wasn't able to find. And I think when I came here in winter I think I saw it and it didn't look palatable like that, it didn't go. But I'm now determined to try again and find it. So yeah, it's a bit of an unfinished business, but also it's one of the oldest mine levels in the area, so at least of this mine that I'm going to, so it kind of has to be done. And you know, I have to give it a go. It's really steep, it's really uphill. The path is really overgrown, so it's really hard to work out. And where things were marked on the old map, so the sort of, Victorian maps, things have changed. Even the course of the stream seems to have gone. The stream is no longer there where the mine load was driven on, so that's not helpful. And yeah, and even in relation to the other mine levels, it's still really difficult to work out which adit is this one. So yeah, so wish me luck and come join me, see if I can find it. And don't be deceived by this nice path. That very quickly, where I need to go, I'll need to come off this path, join another path, which sort of disappears after a while. It's really frustrating that way. There's another path that has lost its course. Maybe I can find a better one further ahead. Oh yeah, I think there's a better one just here. Yeah, how about that one? There's a path more or less. Yeah, that looks really good. The reason I'm so suspicious about these paths in mid-Wales is a lot of them, they start really well like this one, and then they just end. They just sort of dissipate into the shrubbery, probably because people don't use them enough. Maybe dog walkers will just go up a little bit and then come back down without doing the full loop. So if you want to do a long hike or go to the mines, you find yourself in extreme hardship, like it has happened to me quite a few times. Well, the path is still here, just about. Getting tricky. Ow. Ouch. Yeah, the path is gone. It's going to be the case of trying to keep the right direction, referring to the map, and just hoping that eventually I can make sense of it. It's difficult where the path gets completely obscured like that. Young larch trees have completely grown over its course, but I can still see there's a cut in the rock. So maybe this was even the original miner's track. And I'm looking for spore heaps, but this isn't it. This looks like it's just been cut. You see there, it just looks like it's been cut into bedrock, more for like a track. This is solid. This isn't spoil. So, but it opens up quite nicely. So this I haven't visited. So this is progress. Maybe I'll get a new perspective on this area, and maybe I can find the level I'm looking for. There's another. If you see along there, the darker line, that's sort of like a stream, like a ravine of some sort. So is that a spore heap there? Maybe. So if that's the case, then that could be a contender. It has been really difficult to navigate this area, and the reason why you might think, well, I'm a bit silly that I just keep looking for it. It's now the second/third time, so maybe a bit of an overkill, but it's because it's an old mine. It's exactly the sort of mines that I like the most, and there should be a primitive hand-cut level, coffin level, as we call them, which that would be the ultimate find. So if I can find one of those, probably from pre-18th century, could even be 17th, 16th even. I mean, who knows? Yeah, maybe like a 17th century working. That would just be so special. Yeah, this is getting difficult. It's really steep and really overgrown. But oh hey, needs must. So I went through that, up through it to here, and actually look, there's a bald patch lots of these burnt trees, but there's a bald patch with no bracken, no vegetation growing. This could be an old spoil heap, so this is good. And also I can see some spoil heaps over there. So I feel like I've persevered and it's really close. As long as the flies don't eat me alive, then I have a chance to actually go and get there. But yeah, I'm dripping in sweat because it's just such a hot, humid day. I'm so muggy that I just feel like, you know, you feel like giving up, but actually can't give up because whichever way you go, it's just an overgrown shrubbery, you know, nightmare. So you're stuck, you have to keep going on, and it's always easier to go up than to go down. Well, there we go. It's really steep, but that is definitely a spoil heap. I'm so hoping it's the one. Well, that's one steep spoil heap. I know it doesn't look that steep on camera, but you try and climb that, you're just slipping and sliding. Okay, but now the real fun begins, which is finding the adit. Like I said, I tried and I failed beforehand. I don't think I didn't come here, so yeah, definitely this is new. So I think, you know, if it's somewhere there, it probably will be at the top. This is the spoil heap, but the path cuts across the spoil heap, but really the spoil heap continues. So the adit, of course, is always at the top. So, you know, you'd guess it would be somewhere around there. Let's go and check. So steep beyond belief, but here it does level out and you see moss, which is a good sign because moss means damp and that means water, and water means an adit. And there's a cut as well in the rock. So when you look for an adit, that's what we look for. I think it might be here. Don't want to jinx it. When I came here a year or a year and a half ago, maybe a year and a half, can't actually remember. I think I looked at it and thought, oh, that's really unpalatable, that's really small, really damp, don't want to do it. And didn't really take a pin, so should have done, because I think this is it. My God, look at it, how small. It's really unpalatable. Can you even get in there? And if you're feeling low, if in doubt, have a bilberry. Look at them. All the other ones were dried up everywhere else. But the ones by the adit, I mean, look at them. Yeah, it's all that water and moisture. Well, let's have a look at this adit. Oh my God, it's quite small. Does it even exist? But it breathes. I can feel damp air coming out of it. It's just completely overgrown. But, oh, there's definitely cool breeze. I think it just needs a bit of gardening to be done. But I think there's a person-sized hole in there somewhere. See that? That goes. Just needs to be cleared up a little bit, you know, all this debris. It really obscures it, and then they get even more damp that way. Oh look, there's a little hole that's opening up. That's roughly, you know, that's the size of my hand. So yeah, a person can fit through there. And yeah, very nice, fresh, cool breeze. Can't tell if it's wet though. Let me do a bit of gardening and I'll show you a bit better. Yeah, sometimes a little bit of gardening is all that's needed to access an adit like this. Does it go? Yes, it does. Look at that. Is it really wet? I mean, there is a bit of water there. Yeah, well, I don't know if you can see, but essentially there's just enough space for a human to sort of go in. So I'm going to have to try and fit in there. And I'll show you what's inside as well. So there we go. That's my welly going in. But actually, when you light it up, it opens up almost immediately, and that looks a lot less scary than, you know, you're just crawling in this passage that literally is so small. So that looks a lot better. It's reassuring. So in we go. It's a really pretty adit, and it looks like, I mean, it will be probably over welly deep, but it looks like a fairly nice, solid floor. It's a very low added, so it sort of looks partly hand cut. And we will see if we can find some chisel marks to see if it is a primitive rock cut added. Yeah, so it's the water level's drying up a little bit, so it reached thigh deep, so that wasn't pleasant, but only for a short while. And now you can really see that coffin level profile that's becoming quite clear. So you can see just behind me as well how the coffin level sort of, I'm standing now like this is me standing normal, so actually it's not even that low. But a beautiful profile this way, and you can still see some chisel marks. I wonder if it's because the rock was quite poor quality and it literally, well, it kind of, I guess, I don't know, it probably it was peeling away as they were chiseling, so you can't see pick marks as good as usual. But over here, for example, that's a good example of some pick marks going that way, and here as well, there's some fairly clear ones, grooves. A lot of echo, but let's see where this goes. Oh, it looks like it forks a little bit. There's more of that glistening, reflective fungi. It's maybe lichen that's growing. It literally is growing on the rock. That's how life forms survive. Is that I thought maybe that was a fossil imprint, but it's probably just these grooves where the rock has peeled off. But look at that. It curves and you can really see all the, what's that written? 15, is that? That's probably modern, maybe that was just surveyed in modern days. Yeah, I wonder if it's been widened somewhat. Yeah, fairly wide, this level. Look at that, beautiful. Now this is a very interesting feature. So there's a bit of water obviously trickling down the course of the floor, but can you see there's where the wheelbarrow would have been pushed through hundreds of years. Do you see how it's worn out a groove? So can you imagine how many times they were just pushing and pushing and pushing this wheelbarrow that it's worn out this groove? And also looking back at it, it's quite obvious. I just love when I see that, because you can imagine people just going back and forth, just pushing the cart full of ore and back in they go again. With, wheelbarrows used to be wooden and really primitive, with just like a metal sort of reinforcement around the wheels. So they would have, the noise they would have made is, imagine that wheel sort of kind of also almost bouncing off, but at the same time really heavy. It just would have been back-breaking work. Well, at least the level is actually tall enough for me to stand in, so that's a bonus. A lot of echo. Wonder if it's because it turns so many times, so the echo just tends to be that much stronger. Oh, does it curve? Oh my God, yes it does. It seems to curve. Well, this is a treat. I'm going to check right ahead before I go into that nice crosscut there. But let's have a look first in here. Oh wow, it seems like it's really crumbly here, so maybe they hit the fault in the rock here, which is kind of what you want, I guess, if you're looking for minerals. If you're looking for, well, for lead in this case, you kind of want to find that vein. And look at that. Oh yeah, so they did find, yeah, clearly they did find something, because look at there's a primitive alcove there as well at the top. That's quite curious. Yeah, they seem to have stoped out a tiny alcove there, and there's another one that's been probably backfilled. And also what's curious is that looking at the stopes, you can see where they mined out, so it's just really narrow, just that kind of slit there, unless that's where it collapsed out. Yeah, so that's where the vein is. It just goes along there. Looks like maybe they scratched into and got all they could out of it. But and it does continue that way as well. So let's check that side. Oh wow, okay. So that's right. So that one just goes for a little bit. So okay, worth checking out. This one seems to be a dead end, unfortunately. This end here, very flat. So in that case, well, this is really low. In that case, let's go along that way. Wow. So this gets really, really small. I don't know about this. This just looks like there were some stemples here, just where they were carving out that little stope. But the level, so first of all, it's really slanting. There's a clear angle. It's just the way that the rock flakes, and it gets quite a bit narrower. Yeah, just a little bit muddy. Nothing groundbreaking. But I just said that, and it's getting a bit deeper. But look at the shape. Yeah. And again, if you notice on the floor, there's that wheelbarrow groove carries on. So a little bit more mineralization. I wonder the yellow. It's probably, I think it's just maybe calcite with sulfur mixed into it. It's really quite yellow. It's just a bit of a scratching in there. You see where they scratched in and looked for the ore. You could literally still see the pick marks in there, chisel marks. And a bit more of that yellow flow that way. Oh wow, it carries on. Yeah, a lot of mineralization here. So this is the less stable part of the mine, and there's been a collapse through there. So they were trying to go in through there, and that gave way. I don't want for this to be some kind of a false floor, but if it can hold that much material, it will hold me as well. And then the level carries on. Something interesting here in this little alcove I've noticed. Do you see these two sticks rammed in there? So it looks like they rammed in the explosives into the shot hole. So you see the shot hole goes that way. They rammed it in, and it's still there. It sort of never went off, I guess. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go off now either. But yeah, you don't often see that. Really yellow here, really colourful. And I'm kind of trying to lean on the side because of the angle. So I'm kind of going on the side because you can see how the level, it just sort of turns. There's also some hydrozincite. It forms these sort of teeth-like growths, and then they keep dripping water and keep growing a bit bigger. But so this level is actually, you know, considering how tiny it looked from the outside, it's fairly large. Well, it's not that it's wide, but it's fairly lengthy inside. Does it carry on? So eventually it gets really low, which is all the way through, and literally it then ends in a dead end. There's been this collapse here, but it just doesn't go any further. So I'm just going to have to go back and then cross and then check the other level that drifts to the left, at the sort of fairly at the beginning. Okay, well, back at the intersection. So this is where the primitive level sort of goes back on itself. We obviously, this is the entry, way in, and we're now going to check where it goes. Oops, sorry. We're now going to check where it goes that way. So again, looks really similar sort of profile. Not really a coffin level anymore, and also you can see shot holes here. So again, there was a lot of later sort of working and reworking, clearly. No, well, there's a timber here, but you know, I can't see how they would have had a rail of any sort, because it just looks like it was all wheelbarrowed. So yeah, it's just too narrow. But yeah, this clearly is a later working that they were trying to exploit later, hoping to find more lead ore. But look at that! It looks like it's collapsed, and it's been neatly sort of piled up there with a collapse. But you know, you can see that the level would continue further, but it's just been completely collapsed. It might just be that even the miners didn't remove the rubble, because why would you if you didn't find anything? And the fact that it's so neatly piled up here, it makes me think that maybe the miners themselves said, right, that's it. We didn't find it. That means that back we go, back through the coffin level. There's a bit more zinc growing. I like it when it sort of hangs off the wall. But yeah, let's see. Always worthwhile looking for stuff. Oh look, someone has been doing a survey. Modern days, number 6. Okay. Yeah, I really love this groove. Well, time to go back out. And the bag. And that's it. Done. Goodbye, adit. Well, thanks for joining me on this adventure looking for this hidden adit. I feel like now it's a bit bigger now that I've squeezed through it. But yeah, it's a nice one. It's a nice one to find something that you've been looking for. And failed, and then came back and managed to find it. So bye for now. Thanks for joining me, and stay well, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.